Mujin video. How massive K-pop agency broke all US child labor laws. That's not news to me. Plenty of people break the law for money. Alright, let's watch it. 3, 2, 1, boom.
You know, it's quite rare to find someone who doesn't know what America's Got Talent is. I mean, it's practically the best place to get yelled at in a language that you don't understand. British. Many people from all over the country line up in the hundreds, sometimes the thousands, just to get one chance at achieving their ultimate dream. But what if you took this concept that
when I was a kid, I used to go on YouTube and look at the cringe ones. The ones that were really terrible. And then laugh at them with my friends.
Targets all age ranges and all demographics and used it to specifically target K-pop teen fans. You get the show A2K, otherwise known as America to Korea. A talent show that gives American K-pop fans the opportunity to not only compete doing something that they love, but if they win, they get to join one of the biggest South Korean K-pop agencies on the planet. I mean, seriously, who's gonna say no to that? They would then be flown out to heaven on earth. Yes, that's right, South Korea, where all good things come from, where much like some of the biggest K-pop idol groups on the planet, they would get to go through slave labor. I mean, sorry, a very intense training regimen. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Even though they
and then they groom you into being contract signed for the rest of your like adulthood, basically, until you're like a hag. Yeah, they do that. No, I'm serious. Wait, they have a Camilla on here. Lexus. I thought that was a car.
Probably had, I don't know, tens of thousands of applicants from the entirety of the United States. The agency ended up picking the top 11 finalists and made the show centered around them. The top 5 winners would be part of the next big idol group. The first.
It is crazy to me that people allow kids to basically get like farmed like this. They are literally farming them until when they turn 18, boom, contract. They didn't have to put in effort.
Americans to do so. There was a concern though. Every single person on this image is a child, a minor. Now you might think that's normal. South Korean idols start very young, sure, but not this young because someone on this image is 12 years old.
I think what they start at like 16. If I remember correctly.
But listen, this might be a South Korean agency, but they are on American soil. There are laws in this country, child labor laws, that do allow them to work, but with enough breaks, a guardian looking after them, and a big importance placed on their mental health, okay? So take a step back, buddy. Everything's gonna be just fine.
That's right.
What's this?
Files
lawsuit against the agency from one of those minors. Oh, who could have seen that one coming? Let's see, what are they being accused of? Child labor exploitation, child neglect and abuse, and unfair business practices? Huh. I was so caught off guard by this, guys, because this agency only has a good track record. It's not like in the past, they made one of their top talents eat ice cubes.
That's anorexia, bro. Yeah, there was girls that I remember reading, they would eat ice cubes. That is so freaked up.
For a week, because she was considered too fat. Guys, let's talk about it because it gets way
not even
worse.
fat.
Get ready. Let's go. Alright, so if you haven't been living under a rock and browse the internet regularly, especially Twitter, you know for a fact that K-pop has been taking over the world these last few years. Now, yeah, sure, back in 2012, the only introduction people had to K-pop was Gangnam Style. Timeless classic, by the way.
True.
But now it's a global.
Gangnam Style came out 10 years ago, did it not? That's considered a boomer K-pop. 12 actually? Oh, that physical physically hurts me. Oh.
Global phenomenon. According to Spotify, just in the last 5 years, K-pop streams surged over 362% globally, with no sign of slowing down. This means that K-pop is easily South Korea's biggest export. Second only to kimchi, of course. Now that's the global kimchi. Phenomenon right here. When it comes to fans abroad, even though it's a global phenomenon, you'll find many of them still in the Asian region.
And they're always little kids. There are not a lot of people that I ever heard of that stayed watching or like consuming K-pop after the age of like 21. It's all like young adults, preteens, like bordering on becoming an adult.
Country you'll always find on these lists is Japan, usually in number 1. It's no surprise since the whole idol industry actually originated there. Now, much like how in the US, where almost 85% of music is controlled by the 3 biggest music labels, K-pop is no different, being controlled by the big 4: HYBE, YG Entertainment, SM Entertainment, and JYP. Seeing how much success K-pop was having in Japan, JYP came up with an idea. In 2020, they created the show Needsy Project, a talent show in Japan to find the next idol group. The 9 winners were then used to form the group Needsy U. The idea was simple. JYP Entertainment had created so many successful idol groups. They were convinced that no matter the nationality, no matter the language, if they had brought them to South Korea and trained them under the same intense training regimen, they could also become successful.
But you can't do that with kids. They're not adults, man.
Hey, you know what? To their credit, that's exactly what happened. This only served to embolden JYP Entertainment and made them truly believe that they could bring in any group of people.
And I'm not gonna lie, K-pop is inherently sexual and very parasocial. Why are you putting these basically these teens, pre-young adults into these situations, man?
To South Korea and have them leave as idols. The next step was simple. Another country that was always beside Japan in these top 5 lists of foreign listeners of K-pop was, of course, the United States. Their positioning varies. This list has them in top 2, but they're typically always in top 5. What makes them especially valuable is the fact that Americans have incredible purchasing power. They'll buy all your merch. They'll buy your tickets at exorbitant prices because God bless credit cards. So the next step for JYP Entertainment seemed very straightforward. Let's recreate the success that we had in Japan, but this time in the United States under the name of A2K.
Aren't streamers also parasocial? What part of being 16 years old do you not understand? I am above the age of 18. That's why it's not fucking weird, man. I'm talking about parasocial with children, man.
America to Korea. Their local partner in the US was going to be Republic Records, a label that represents many of the top talents in the US, such as Post Malone, Ariana Grande, Nicki Minaj, The Weeknd, etc., etc. This was a huge phenomenon, with auditions held in Dallas, New York, Chicago, Atlanta, and Los Angeles. They were recruiting from all over the country, with promises of fame, first-class training, and the incredible achievement of being the first American-based idol group under a major South Korean talent agency. After 22 episodes, 6 of the final 11 contestants were picked to form the group Vicha, spelled VCHA. Most of them had ages from 15 to 17, except one of them, Kaylee Lee. She was 12 at the time of filming. Yes, you're not dreaming. I mean, look at her, dude. Look at her. She's a child. Now look, when it comes to K-pop idols, starting young is nothing new. 14 or 15 is standard, with some people considering 18 being...
Yeah, but they don't put them on, like, public television and, like... Training to be one... Okay, I'm gonna listen before I say anything.
Too old, but 12 is young even by South Korean standards. It's kind of crazy. Seeing that JYP Entertainment didn't really have that much of an amazing reputation with how they treated their talents, the famed South Korean idol training regimen didn't really sound like an amazing idea for a 12-year-old. So many fans, both Western and South Korean actually, were concerned. This became such a heated topic that it prompted one of the representatives of JYP Entertainment's LA office to talk about it during an interview, saying this: in a recent interview with Nylon, Daniel Hong, an LA-based JYP Entertainment manager, directly addressed these concerns, assuring fans that the company has been strictly following regulations set by California regarding minors working in the entertainment industry. These regulations include restrictions on working hours for minors, access to education through provided tutors, and guardian presence when needed.
Child actors 9 times out of 10 get fucked up because of the industry. This is no different. I'm all okay with like kids like doing like drama in school or like going to dance clubs because that's a kid's environment. If you're in the entertainment industry and you're being exposed to adults all the fucking time, that's completely different. Like, people will argue, oh, well, child actors should be allowed because how are you going to get children into television? I think it's fucked up. There have been so many cases of kids who grew up to be adult actors who said that the industry was horrible for them. This is no different because you are objectively selling these kids' image.
He was quoted saying, "That rule has been put together and followed until today, and it'll be followed until later." After the statement, the concerns about Kaylee's age were sidelined because, well, Vicha was doing pretty damn good. Not too long after winning A2K, they released a song on September 2023 titled YO Universe. It did so well that it was #1 on the US Billboard for Hot Trending Songs.
Wow.
It was a massive achievement, seeing that they haven't even debuted yet officially as a group. People were slowly starting to realize their massive potential. They ended up debuting on January 26, 2024 with the single Girls of the Year. The song was again a success, uploaded on JYP Entertainment's official YouTube channel and currently being...
That's insane! 10 million views in 10 months. Oh my god!
At 10 million views. The sky was the limit for Vicha, and they were doing exactly what JYP Entertainment was hoping they'd do, attracting both fans from the US and South Korea at the same time.
Yeah, and attracting a different type of person too.
But of course, we're talking about the idol industry here, and the idol industry very rarely has happy endings. Their careers would run into a major roadblock not even a month after their debut, when their official Twitter account would tweet this, saying, "Information about Kaylee's further participation in Vicha activity. Hello, this is JYP Entertainment. We would like to inform you about Vicha member Kaylee's participation in upcoming Vicha's activities. Due to a health condition, Kaylee will be taking a hiatus from upcoming Vicha activities until further notice. We will provide further updates regarding the resumption of Kaylee's activities. We will continue to place the highest priority on our artist's health and ask for your support in Kaylee's full recovery. Thank you." People were of course shocked, but more importantly, they were hoping that she was okay. Because by that time, she was like 13 or something, right? She was
13 years old?
Really very young. But still, one couldn't help but notice that this statement was extra vague, more than usual. They said the group would continue without Kaylee. Fine, but instead, fans only got radio silence. The group wouldn't really perform much anymore, but at least there would be some social media posts. However, around June, all of that would change. This was the last post right here in the beginning of June, and then nothing. The only thing posted being their birthday celebrations, which is something typical for idol groups. It was the same exact thing with every one of their social media pages. Complete radio silence since June 2024 with no updates. At some point, they were meant to perform at the end of June in an event called Lollapalooza in the United States. Their appearance was also cancelled. So again, more speculation, more rumors. What was going on behind the scenes? They had crazy momentum. Kaylee had to leave, sure, but is that really enough to stop all activities? It was only on December 7th, 2024, almost 10 months after Kaylee's hiatus, that fans got some sort of an update, and unfortunately, it wasn't a happy one. KG, otherwise known as Kiera Grace Matter, one of the members of Vicha, filed a lawsuit against JYP USA, their subsidiary in the US, alleging some of the worst crimes you can ever be accused of, most notably child labor abuse.
And it's not even the girl that was on hiatus. They probably overworked the fuck out of that 13-year-old man. That's so sad.
Now, she is still a minor. As of the end of 2024, she is 17 years old. So this lawsuit was filed by her guardian, her mother, in the Los Angeles County Court. She revealed this in an Instagram story in a statement that shocked everyone. Here's what she had to say. "I filed a lawsuit because I have decided to terminate my contract with JYP Entertainment and exit Vicha after experiencing incidents of abuse and mistreatment by certain staff members. I feel it was not a good environment for my mental health and apologize if my leave disappoints any of you. I'm not in support of the working and living conditions that led a member to attempt suicide not, nor do I support an environment that encourages eating disorders and has caused members to self-harm. So if
a 13-year-old attempting and having eating disorders. Gulp.
Of course, I have to censor that word because of YouTube, but yes, let's just say that one of the members was attempting to leave this planet due to the work environment suffered at JYP Entertainment. Yeah, you think this is crazy? It gets even crazier as we go through this lawsuit. First though, let's continue KG's statement. She says, I made this decision back in May and I'm still waiting for release from my contract. I'm worried for the girls who remain in Vicha, my friends who I truly love and care for. I also realize if I remain at JYP Entertainment, I'm not able to become the artist I aspire to be as I really enjoy songwriting and production. I have accumulated a massive amount of company debt while being paid very little for the intense work and extreme limitations on our personal lives. Although such incidents occurred, there were also beautiful moments.
And you know what's the worst part? Is that their parents are probably dumb or don't really care, and they sign contracts that they don't understand with an insane amount of legalese. That I think it's like the same principle of like certain VTuber companies that you get into debt for like buying clothes or buying equipment instead of them buying it for you, and then you have to pay it back from them. Yeah, it's really, really, really predatory. It's really gross. That's why a lot of people that sign contracts like that, they can't leave even if they want to.
All right, time to dive into this catastrophic lawsuit. Here are some of the allegations in this lawsuit against JYP Entertainment filed by KG. It starts off strong with physical and emotional abuse. Here's what the lawsuit says. On or around September 14th, 2023, so before their debut, KM, which is KG, was singled out by a dance instructor for her lack of formal dance training. The instructor, yelling in the Korean language, demanded KM repeat a single dance move hundreds of times without rest while KM was forced to hold a squat position. KM, in visible pain and exhaustion, was denied a water break that all the other girls received. The instructor told her she could only drink water when she perfected the move. The hours of forced repetition caused KM to tear a tendon in her shoulder. The pain was excruciating, yet the company continued to force her to work through the injury, refusing to allow her adequate time to recover. KM was later sent to the hospital and received injections for her shoulder, but was expected to return to full dance training immediately.
If you tear a tendon, you can't move. You can't heal. It's so painful. Oh my god, man! They're literally, it's like, I mean, it literally is. Like, you're just a slave to them.
This was not an isolated incident. Throughout her time at JYP, KM and other members of Vicha were repeatedly forced to dance and perform with severe injuries, including sprained ankles, strained muscles, and other conditions. KM's doctors recommended rest, but JYP Entertainment ignored these recommendations, insisting she continue performing at full capacity. During one evaluation, KM's leg injury was severe, and she asked staff if she could take it easy. She was told no. JYP Entertainment staff continued to get her multiple injections while she was expected to keep performing.
Injections for what? Like the pain? To like fight it off?
So listen, just as a reminder, these are minors, okay? These are children, all right? Let's keep going. Unpaid labor. With 12-plus hour days, KG says she was paid $500 weekly, which is far below California's minimum wage. After her time with Vicha, she shared that she owed over $500,000 with expenses stemming from the group's lavish living expenses. Per California labor laws, a minor is legally entitled to earn the state's minimum wage of $10.5 per hour in most cases. You know, we talk about student loans all
But they don't know what they're signing up for. They're kids.
The time, right? And these decisions are made as an adult, as an 18-year-old or older. Imagine putting a 16-year-old, right? Or a 15-year-old, or hell, a 12-year-old in $500,000 worth of debt when they have no idea what money even is at this point. The lawsuit says that these $500,000 are company expenses. While the agreement specifies that group living was optional, it was not presented that way to KM. She was pressured to live there by JYP Entertainment staff, leaving her with a fear of negative repercussions if she did not. She was told by JYP Entertainment staff, "We want the girls to live together," that the group would not be successful if the girls didn't live together, that it was important for the girls to live together, and that if KM did not live with the girls, she'd be viewed in a negative way. And when she agreed to JYP Entertainment's demand to live with the girls, because she was reasonably afraid about what would happen if she chose not to live with them, she was not given any choice about what the group accommodations would be. JYP Entertainment chose a $2.5 million house. The result of this, JYP Entertainment now claims that KM owes more than $500,000 under the employment agreement, because the exorbitant lifestyles that they fund are what JYP Entertainment uses to attract fans.
Chat, they're 13. Where are the parents in all of this shit, man? This is actually, unironically, the most atrocious thing I've read in a while in terms of like a contract. They're literally fucking you over to keep you in forever.
So this is not new, right? Unfortunately, okay? The K-pop industry is...
And again, this is like psychological pressure on like a teenager too. Of course they're not gonna say no, they're scared. Like, I was a kid, you guys were kids, like, if you felt like an adult told you, like, hey, you have to live with your friends, if you're, like, you know, I don't know, part of an esports org or something, like, you have to perform. It's so horrible.
Sensitized to such things. You bring in talent, you oppress them, you harass them, you put them in terrible situations, but then when they try to leave, you tell them, wait, that lavish lifestyle you've been living that you didn't ask for, well, it costs money. You owe us $500,000. You simply can't leave. You're ours forever. But guys, don't worry. It gets even worse. Hidden surveillance. JYP Entertainment also imposed constant surveillance on KM and her fellow group members, hidden cameras, including one in the group's dining area that on information and belief had an 8-megapixel camera with a 120-degree wide-angle lens, recorded the girls' private conversations and meals without their consent or knowledge. Again, guys, listen, let me just pause this real quick.
They're children. Why do you need to know what they're doing at all times?
These are minors. All right, let's continue. A surveillance sticker found on the ceiling of the pantry further revealed that their eating habits were being monitored around the clock.
I'm starting to understand why that little girl tried to, you know, and had an eating disorder too. Like, this is illegal. If they are a company under American law, they're gonna get sued to shit.
KM only discovered the cameras months after they had been installed, deepening her feelings of being trapped, controlled, and powerless.
Yeah.
Like, tell me any other circumstance where this is acceptable. Guys, if a parent...
And again, they're controlling their eating habits and making them, like, extremely skinny or malnourished because of their image. And if they're all living in the same house, it's easier to control them. That's why they pressure them to do this. It's so evil.
Was doing this to their children, they would be considered weird, all right? But this is a corporation with strangers, not family.
No. Don't get it twisted. If a parent does this, they're unironically, like, abusing their child. Yeah, like, if you do this to your kid, yes, you are a horrible parent. You deserve jail time.
Family. It's crazy. And now this is where it gets very tragic. Mental health neglect. The lawsuit states this. KM and her fellow group members, many of whom were underage, struggled mentally and emotionally under the constant pressure. Some of the members resorted to self-harm. KM witnessed another member of the group spiral into a deep eating disorder, which culminated in a suicide attempt in February 2024. That member ingested 42 pills of NyQuil in an event that KM discovered when the other member began vomiting uncontrollably the next morning.
Oh my god.
Months prior, KM and other members had brought their concerns about this particular member to JYP Entertainment staff, but JYP staff did not seem
She's lucky to be alive, chat. 42 pills of NyQuil, and when you're 13, that should have killed her.
Concerned and stated that eating disorders were common. JYP concealed the member's suicide attempt from JYP.
Yeah, guys, it's pretty normal to have an eating disorder. Why are you bringing this to our attention?
His child welfare worker, Eric Winston, and other staff. instructing KM and the other girls to lie to Eric and claim the member went home to spend time with her family. Eric since admitted on a phone call with KM and her mother that he was not informed about the member's suicide attempt, but was told by JYP Entertainment staff that the members
they lied to them too. This is devilishly evil.
Suffered from food poisoning. Now listen, I don't care who
you literally lied. Yeah, this is going to criminal court.
You are, right? Whether you're a K-pop stan, whether you're a South Korean and are used to this type of industry, this cannot be excused. This is a minor and you were lying to her child welfare worker about an attempt. Bro, that's insane to me. That's criminal. And I mean, imagine being a minor and being ordered to lie about this too. Like, you just witnessed this as a kid, man.
That person, all of them need to go to jail. You should not see the light of day when you abuse kids, man. Sorry, it might sound really harsh. You're such a piece of shit. You can't even, like, empathetically go like, I was a kid and I didn't go through this kind of thing. Maybe we're being too hard on them. They literally have zero empathy or sympathy, let alone, like, understanding.
Now, obviously, in K-pop, there's a lot of rumors, there's a lot of speculation, a lot of people love to do theories. People speculate that the person who went through this was Kaylee, the 12-year-old. Yeah, sure, it's probable, but why does it matter? We're dealing with 6 children. Whoever this happened to is tragic. It doesn't really matter who it was. But the fact that they tried to hide it, JYP staff deserves prison time for that. And of course they felt really bad and depressed because JYP also broke labor laws in California. The girls would wake up at 7 a.m. and finish their day close to midnight, barely sleeping for 6 hours.
You can't even do that as an adult. Even in Japan, where labor laws are really fucky and they make you stay until 10:30, they don't make you stay until 12. Yeah, like
hours and doing it all over again the next day, not even being compensated financially for any work they did after 6:30 p.m., right? They were working overtime as children and not even being paid for it. This is just catastrophic on so many levels. Around a day after the official lawsuit was filed, JYP Entertainment responded on Vicha's official Twitter page, saying in regards with the recent lawsuit filed by Kiera Grace Matter, linking their statement, saying,
No, we're not wrong. No.
Dear all, this is JYP USA. We would like to address the recent lawsuit filed by Kiera Grace Matter, hereafter referred to as KG, in her public statements on social media. In May of this year, KG left the group residence and initiated discussions through her legal representatives. In response, we temporarily suspended Vicha's planned activities and engaged in extensive discussions with KG's representatives to explore potential resolutions. However, recently, we have not received any response from KG's representatives, leaving our legal representatives awaiting further communication. We deeply regret KG's decision to file a lawsuit and make unilateral public statements containing false and exaggerated—
I like this part. Exaggerated claims. We didn't make them work 17 hours. We made them work 12 hours. I like that. I like that a lot.
Claims.
Very evil.
This action has caused significant harm to the other members of Vicha and JYP USA who have been working diligently on their upcoming album and projects for early 2025. JYP USA will take all necessary measures to ensure that neither the other members of Vicha nor JYP USA suffer further harm as a result of this matter.
Yeah.
Thank you, sincerely, JYP USA. Doesn't this remind you of another corporation? Because I remember Nijisanji when I read this. And I guess it's no surprise. It's an idol corporation.
And the debt thing, too. The putting them into debt that they have to pay off. It's so— idol culture is nasty. I know it's sad that, like, it's kind of almost— well, it's not hypocritical because VTuber culture came from idol culture. It genuinely did. Like, VTuber companies came from that. I'm an indie, and I'm so thankful I don't have to go through this shit. I wouldn't be able to stand for this. If that happened to me, I would instantly try and do a lawsuit and, like, go against them, because that's disgusting. It's absolutely abhorrent that you're doing this to children, if this is true.
Sanji looks up to such corporations and tries to mimic them. They're now blaming KG for all the misfortune that Vicha has went through.
That bitch, she ruined our money! Now everybody looks at me, and they're gonna be like, bad company and we're not gonna make as much money.
That's what K-pop agencies do. They use this narrative to control the fans' emotions. The fans will see this and think, oh, JYP sucks, man. We shouldn't support them. But on the other hand, I love Vicha and I want the best for them, so I'll still support them anyway. But in the end, who do you think gets most of the money when you support Vicha? You know?
Yeah, and also a lot of these people are underage or just like stupid people that parasocially engage in these corpo borpos, and they think they really care about them. They just want the content, which is ultimately what's fucked up, is that the girl filing the lawsuit very likely gets like death threats and harassment as a result of this. She's like the reason why they broke up, and they essentially indoctrinate the fans to hate them. It's hard to go against them.
Lose either way, unfortunately. KG then responded to JYP's response, saying, in response to JYP USA's recent statement, I'm very disappointed in the company's lack of accountability. My legal team and I are fully prepared with photographic and physical evidence to prove my allegations are factual, not exaggerated, nor false. Thank you to the public for your unwavering support. Please treat both sides with kindness, as this is a difficult time for everyone. I will continue to fight for better treatment of K-pop idols and trainees, in which I promise to speak nothing but the truth. I hope by coming forward, other trainees, idols, and group members can be encouraged to use their voice in order to make a positive change in the K-pop industry.
Good for her.
Signed, KG. So look, overall, the K-pop community is actually on her side. As I mentioned in the intro of this video, JYP is known for this. All of the big four in K-pop, unfortunately, are known for this. But South Korea is desensitized to such things, and Japan has similar culture to South Korea, so when they went to Japan to get that group to work for them, it still worked. But it's not gonna pass in America, where you can literally sue for the smallest inconvenience, okay? So massive respect to Kiara for doing this.
Don't misconstrue this. You can sue them for anything. It doesn't mean you win. Just putting it out there.
Look, overall, this has massive implications for the K-pop industry, especially abroad, right? A lot of the revenue generated by these agencies are outside of South Korea. So the fact that JYP's American subsidiary is now embroiled in an incredibly crazy lawsuit in the Los Angeles County Court, I mean, this can change everything, especially with these insane allegations. I'll keep you updated when updates come out, but I just hope that all the members of Vicha can move on with their lives in peace. And I do wish that this industry could regulate itself already and stop being literal slave labor. Thank you so much for watching until the very end. I really, really appreciate it. I love you, and please stay safe and don't join a K-pop agency, okay?
Yeah, or a certain VTuber agency too, chat. That was a good video, though. Thank you for informing us of this hellscape dystopian universe that we live in. Guys, check him out. Mujin, very cool. Very nice.